with an episode of the NFL Fourth and Goal podcast. We are back for week 4. I'm your host. Here my boy Flipside. Flip, what's up?
What's up? What's up, my guy? Back for
Hmm.
week 4 predictions. How's the season been holding for you so far?
This is the strangest season of professional sports by far, especially this week alone, because we saw some amazing, incredible, and weird things all at the same time. That's just weird. I don't even really know what to say. There's a few games, and you know which ones I'm talking about, that blew my damn mind that I never thought I would see it in my lifetime. But man, well anyway, that aside, what do you think of this week?
This week was in have my game of the week already.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of these games were blowouts this
Yeah,
week.
yeah.
There's a lot of games that were just like uninteresting. I mean I'll speak on that later, but
Mm-hmm.
I thought we were gonna have two close to historic games real quick last week. Luckily, the other team didn't run the score up so high, but
Mm-hmm.
man, it was getting bad this week.
Oh yeah, very. And yeah, I mean, but going into this week, we're gonna see how teams really are. We're gonna see who improved and who didn't, and we're gonna see this is when the identities start to come about. But yeah, anyway, what's your game of the week for last week?
Game of the week, as much as I don't want to say it, it's probably Chargers Vikings. Um, the ending was interesting. It was two high powered offenses going at it.
Mm-hmm.
Justin Herbert was on fire the whole game. Keenan Allen had a crazy week. Justin Jefferson, he was balling out.
Yeah.
It didn't look like there was a lot of defense being played in that game until at least the end, but it was entertaining the whole way through. Even that fourth down call at the end, I totally didn't agree with it, but I mean,
Yeah.
it kept the game interesting. Kirk Cousins threw away the game as always. It was a fun week. It was a fun game. Yeah, that's probably my game of the week.
Yeah, my game. Actually, you know what? I'm right there with you. Well, yeah, you know what? I'm right there with you. I mean, at least the game was entertaining to say the least. Yeah, and there needs to be room for improvement on both sides of the ball. But I mean, yeah, I'm really not gonna argue with that. But anyway, who was your most improved team for the week from last week to this one, or from week 3? Yeah.
I might have to go with the Cardinals.
Oh yeah.
Um, I'm not. It was weird because week 2 we saw them basically blow out the Giants in the
Yeah.
first half,
Mm-hmm.
and then the second half happened, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, they're just tanking. They're just taking it away. And then we
Mm.
see them do the same exact thing to this Cowboys team that's been doing that to other teams.
Yeah.
It was surprising, and I know they lost Trayvon Diggs, but I didn't think Trayvon Diggs being out in the secondary was going to be that big of a deal, and I don't think it was that big of a deal.
Mm.
I just think this Cardinals team went in there. They played smash mouth football. James Conner was on the ground killing them.
Yes.
Josh Dobbs was killing them through the air. It was a clinic they were putting on this Cowboys team. And they didn't just let up in the second half. Surprisingly, I mean the Cowboys tried to make a small comeback, but
Yeah.
Dak was just being Dak. So yeah, I think if we're not counting the team that put up 70,
I was getting to that next. I was gonna get to that next because I asked this question on Twitter and in a couple of Facebook groups. Now, in your opinion, what's worse, losing to a team that's supposedly tanking or getting blown up by 50 points? Which one is worse? Yeah.
Man, it's rough because I feel like both of them they're equally just as bad. But
Yeah.
I think the tanking team isn't as bad as losing by 50 points.
Yeah.
Because we know about trap games.
Yeah.
We're used to trap games. We're used to any given Sunday a team can come out and beat you.
Mm.
It just looked like the Cowboys were unprepared for that game. Um, the Dolphins putting up 70 on you, and they weren't even trying to put up 70 on you.
And
They
they
had their
and they didn't
they
have
had their
Jalen Waddle.
second unit in.
Yeah, they didn't have
They
Jalen
had no
Waddle.
Jalen Waddle.
Yeah.
They had their second unit in.
Mm.
The fact that their starting running back had 4 touchdowns, and then their backup running back had 4 touchdowns and 200 yards as well. that this Broncos team, they really need to reevaluate what they're doing over there
Oh my
because
goodness.
you get 70 put up on you like that. It's a locker room killer for sure.
Yeah, it is. And that's the problem is because what I don't like about that whole situation is people are giving Russ more blame than he deserves. That's a defensive part. That the thing is, if you get 70 dropped on you, that's not your fault. That's the defense's fault. I mean, you can put some kind of blame on it because of the placement of the ball. Okay, whatever. But yeah, there should be. I mean, you got to play catch up and everything, and I understand that. But yeah, that's all the defense's fault if you get 70 dropped on you because the quarterback can only do so much to keep you in the game.
And also, it was a situation where yeah, the offense isn't in rhythm. They're probably already demoralized because they're down 50. You're still keeping them in the game for some reason. I don't know why Russ is in the game in the fourth quarter when they're down that big of a deficit.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, he was making some good throws. I mean, he made a lot of big throws to Marvin Mims. He had Cortland Sutton out there balling. I mean, he had Judy somewhat involved in the game, but it's not like Russ was just out there throwing stinkers. It was just
No.
if the offense isn't fully clicking and they're, every time the other team gets the ball, they're just hitting big runs on you. Or even, I mean, Tua was just airing the ball out. He had Tyreek Hill balling out there too. So it's just, I mean, when that happens, you really can't get a full rhythm going. You're not going to keep up with the Dolphins. I'm sorry.
No. I mean, I predicted they win, but I didn't. I predicted a win. I didn't predict a domination. But yeah, anyway, now for the choke of the week. The choke of the week for me was by far the Saints. But what about you?
Yeah, I gotta agree. I mean, they did lose Derek Carr later on,
Yeah.
early on in the game, so it's
Mm.
just like, eh. I'm trying to think of any other team that might have even been close to choking.
Mm-mm.
Uh, Not really. That Rams Bengals game was a good one. I wouldn't call that anywhere near a choke. If anything, it might have been the Vikings because they were given the ball at the 20-yard line. All Kirk Cousins had to do was just go in there and score. That's literally all he had to do was just put the ball on Justin Jefferson, put the ball on T.J. Hockenson, score, get out of there. You've been blessed with perfect positioning on the field. I
Yeah.
mean, that's all you got to do is go in there. So I'm not gonna give it to the Saints just because they lost their quarterback. I'll give it to the Vikings because you're down 0-2 in the season. Your star quarterback is supposed to go out down there and lead you down the field. He doesn't even have to do that in this situation. All he has to do is just get you a touchdown. You got the best receiver in the league on your team, and you can't even do that. That's a choke to me.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
yeah, give it to the Vikings.
All right. Definitely. All right. Week 4, and we started off with the NFC North matchup. We got the Green Bay Packers going up against the Detroit Lions. Who you got? Packers Lions.
Packers Lions, man. I'm liking what this Packers team is doing. Jordan Love he's kind of finding his rhythm. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't have a lot of faith in him going into the season, but he seems to be kind of getting into his own. Man, the thing with Detroit is I like their offense as well, but they don't use Jahmyr Gibbs as much as I would like them to. Obviously, I don't think he's completely ready to take over a huge workload in that backfield as well. But
Yeah.
he's had flashes, and I feel like if you just put him out there and let him do his thing and stop trying to I guess preserve him like they did DeAndre Swift, they would be in a better position in games. Man, I think the line secondary is too banged up. That defense in a total is just too banged up.
But Detroit's got weapons though. They got weapons though that
They do,
yeah.
but the thing is, Green Bay has been making the most of their weapons so far. So, um, I I kind of want to go with the Packers in this one.
Mm-hmm.
I know Aaron Jones is probably going to be back this week.
Yeah.
I'm just liking. I like them overall as a team more than the Lions right now. Even though the Lions have been balling, I think this is one of those games where the Packers might sneak one. So I'm going to take the Packers in this like 24-21 over the Lions.
I got this a close neck and neck game too, and Green Bay started slow last week, and a lot of people argue that the Detroit Lions game shouldn't, last week shouldn't have even been close. But hey, a lot of people are giving the Lions benefit of the doubt because a lot of people have predicted them to come out first in the NFC North this year. But these two teams always beat each other up. Um, a Packers win would not surprise me. But the thing is, they can't play the Lions the same way that they played the Saints because Detroit's not going to make that same mistake, especially from what we've seen so far. So give me the Detroit Lions in this game. I'll say 24. I'll say 24-21. Yes. All right, next week we got the Jacksonville Jaguars going up against the Atlanta Falcons. Who you got? Falcons, Jags.
Um, I'm still kind of Team Jags here.
Oh, really?
The reason why is the Falcons, they don't have a passing game yet, so they kind of remind me of the Bears last year. I mean, in this league, I feel like you can't just rely on only one-dimensional football, and it seems like the Falcons have been trying to rely on the run game way too much. I'm not the biggest fan of that. I just like overall the Jags in this. I think they're defensively better. I think they're not. I wouldn't say they're better in the running game, but Travis Etienne and Tank Bigsby are. I mean, they're getting it done on the ground. And through the air, obviously, I got to take the Jags in this. I don't think Desmond Ritter is just going to go out there and outduel Trevor Lawrence. And we've seen that even from a deficit, Trevor Lawrence can bring a team back to a victory. So if anyone's good at long leads, it's the Falcons. I don't think they'll even be in the lead for this game. I maybe a touchdown or so, but I got to go Jags here. I'm going to say Jags 24-20 over the Falcons.
Now I see your point. And that's the thing is, even if the Falcons were to get ahead on the board, could they hold that lead against Jacksonville? But Jacksonville, I mean, a lot of people say that that was a surprise loss because it was the Texans. I mean, well, it wasn't a surprise loss because it was against a division rival, the Texans. But a lot of people got the Texans as one of the bottom teams this year too. But I mean, they can do, like, the Texans obviously can do some work against Jacksonville, which they did. And I actually picked against them last week. But I mean, the thing is, what they say, you're only as good as your last game. And I'm gonna have to ask a lot of questions about the legitimacy if the Jags lose this game this week because I actually have them. I picked them to be third in the AFC conference this year, going into the playoffs. But hell, if this keeps off, they might not even be a playoff team. If they might end up end up being a lower seed. But the thing is, I think that might be safe. Well, you know what? If Cincy, I mean not Cincy, but if Indy and the Tennessee Titans decide they want to get their act together, then we might be having a whole different conversation. Because guess what? It only takes 1 or 2 games to turn it around, and especially in the division that you're in right now. But Atlanta's it's another strange team to me because they're like a roller coaster. They go up and down depending on who they're going up against. Now, on paper, the Jags are supposed to win this game. Keyword, supposed to. But I don't know. And they're the safe pick, but it's just something about this game is making my spidey sense tingle. I'm gonna keep a close eye on this game just because I'm not 100% sure about it. But going ahead and give me the Jacksonville Jags in this game. I'm gonna say 21-17. Next up, you got the Buffalo Bills going on the road against the Miami Dolphins. Who you got? Bills, Dolphins.
Oh man.
The Dolphins are 3-0 right now, and the Bills are 2-1.
Look, the Dolphins. It's hard to bet against them right now. They're getting Jalen Waddle back from concussion.
Oh yeah.
Tyreek Hill is still healthy. Tua hasn't had his head bouncing against the pavement. This Bills team, it looks good, but it's hard.
Very.
It's hard to even bet against this Dolphins team. I mean, this is the Dolphins I expected to see when they got Tyreek Hill and Waddle in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's whole speed. Like their whole team is 99 speed.
Yeah.
Even the backup running back is 99 speed.
It's ridiculous.
The only thing they're missing is Michael Vick at quarterback, and they would be good to go. Like everything about this team is just scary because it's like you have two receivers who you have to double because they can burn your secondary. You have a running game that is really speedy, and you have to like put some guys in the box to stop it. Man, it's just. I mean, and Mike McDaniel's a good coach. It's not like they have some like crappy coaching, and that's the thing that's holding it back. Like everything is falling into place for this team to the point where, I mean, the defense is always going to be good to go. They're going to be fresh out there. So it's like, I don't know if the Bills can beat them, but I think the Bills have the best chance of beating them. But I'm still going to go with the Dolphins in this.
Yeah.
Because the Bills are built to go to the Super Bowl as well. It's just that, man, this is like a Super Bowl matchup in the fourth week. This is what it feels like.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if we see these guys go out there and play some great football. I don't think it's going to be 70-20, obviously, but I would say give me the Dolphins in this 31-27 over the Bills.
Now, here's the thing. Because right now, the Dolphins have not lost a game, and you can argue it's difficulty or lack of difficulty of the schedule. You can argue that. And you can argue that the Bills have had tougher competition as of late, but I mean, come on, like right? Both of the Bills are built to go to the Super Bowl. Not really many people expected domination out of the Dolphins, and you're right. The Dolphins are speed. They are a very power hungry team. It's just that
the thing with the Dolphins is they beat three teams that were supposedly known for their defense. So we got the Chargers, where everyone was like, "Oh man, that team's a great defense. They got a defensive-minded coach." They've been getting burnt.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's just bad Chargers defense or it's just the Dolphins are that good. I'm going bad Chargers defense because we had two of the top three offenses play us, so I'm not entirely sure about that.
I would say good offense from the Dolphins because I think the Dolphins could have did that. I say the Dolphins could have did that against damn near anybody. But that's just me.
Yeah. And then you have the Patriots, who are known for their defense as well. Bill Belichick is a defensive-minded guy. He loves, being that defensive guy. So
taking away your best weapon. But that's the thing. It's hard to take away your best weapon when you got three of them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so it's like you have to be like, okay, good Dolphins again. And it was a close game. It was 24-17.
Yeah.
So it was obviously the Dolphins just outplayed them. And then you got the Broncos, who have probably a top three corner in the league, and he was getting torched. And so it's like the Broncos are supposedly no slouch on defense too. Like we've always regarded them as one of the good defenses in the league for the last couple years. So it's just like the Dolphins are just. I mean, that team is just that high powered on offense that they could go undefeated. Like they're just that talented on offense.
Oh yeah, definitely. Oh, but man, as far as my prediction, give me it's hard. Like it is real hard. Man, give me the Dolphins 27-24 over Buffalo. Now, we got the Toilet Bowl. We got the Chicago Bears going up against the Denver Broncos. Who you got? Broncos, Bears.
Give me the Broncos in this. I think.
Really?
I think the Broncos are kind of in a misunderstood state because one, it's the Dolphins. The Dolphins are just really good. Like they're a Super Bowl team. The Broncos aren't. I understand that. I understand Russ is kind of finding his own again, which he is. He had some battles. I mean, this Commanders team. I know we want to say that the Washington Commanders aren't good, but I mean, obviously, this team is better than it was last year.
Right.
So, I mean, they battled them out. They put up points against them. I won't give them any, clearance for that Raiders game. That was just bad. I mean, you should be putting up points against them. But this Bears team is sorry. Defensively, they're sorry. Offensively, they're sorry. coaching staff is sorry. The whole team is sorry. I feel like the whole organization is blowing up. Um, I mean, compared to the Broncos, they're in a horrible state.
Mm-hmm.
So when I see that, um, I mean, the Broncos, they have a reason to go out there and try to run the score up on the Bears. They just got humiliated last week. The defense is going to be upset about that. The offense is going to be upset about that. The Bears, they just got I mean, they were about to be the Broncos last week.
Oh yeah, they're about to get blown out. Yeah.
The Chiefs just let up on the gas.
Yeah.
That's all that was. So it's like when I see that Justin Fields ain't gonna improve anytime soon. He can't even find his own anymore. So it's just like I'm seeing Russ improving again. We're seeing the Russ of old. The offense is looking good. They have Marvin Mims, Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy. Javonte Williams is getting better and better each week from that ACL injury.
Mm-hmm.
The defense, I mean, when they are a stout defense, they're a stout defense. Obviously, that's not going to happen when Tyreek Hill is running across the field. I don't think that the Bears have a Tyreek Hill.
No.
I don't think Justin Fields is going to run all over that team well enough to beat them. So give me the Broncos in this. I would say like 28-16 over the Bears. I just don't think the Bears are in a good spot right now.
Yeah. And the loser in this, they might as well just take the rest of the damn season away because they'll be 0-4. But yeah, I think the Broncos just have a sour taste in their mouth from getting slapped in last week. And the Bears, I mean, you're gonna tell gonna come back from who's more than likely to come back from getting slapped around the previous week. And you're right, Denver on paper has a lot more talent than the Chicago Bears does. So I mean, it'll probably be in your best interest to pick them. But I mean, I can see them. I mean, unless Denver just goes out there and completely craps the bed, I don't see them losing to the Bears. So yeah, give me the Broncos 24-17 over the Chicago Bears. Next up, AFC North matchup. You got the Cleveland Browns against the Baltimore Ravens. Now, both of these teams are obviously going to beat each other the hell up, but and the Browns actually looked pretty good last week. And I would be more inclined to pick the Baltimore Ravens if they could actually stay healthy worth the damn. But it seems like every week somebody's just dropping. Like their whole thing is just dropping like flies, and you know it's ridiculous. We're gonna have to put Lamar Jackson in bubble wrap for the next 16 weeks or the next however many weeks that's left in the season. I don't even think I had them. Oh yeah, I did have them making the playoffs. I had them 17 playoffs, but the way it's looking right now, it's rough. And just a side note, my Steelers number one in the AFC North right now, so just keep an eye on that. But yeah. Oh man. Like I said, Deshaun Watson actually looked like the Deshaun Watson of old in the last game. And this is the primetime matchup. We get to see Watson versus Jackson. But yeah, I mean, Baltimore, even though it's early in the season, they're still too beat up. So give me Cleveland. I can't believe I want to say this. Give me Cleveland 28-20 over the Ravens. Who you got? Ravens, Browns.
I don't like the Ravens this year. Like you were saying, they are very banged up on both sides of the ball. The defense it should be good, but obviously, when you have so many injuries, it's going to affect your team. The offense isn't using their weapons right. I mean, Zay Flowers, I saw a chart recently of Zay Flowers' route trees the entire game last week. All he's running is curls. Like, this is a speedster guy. You should have this guy looking like Tyreek Hill out there. He should be going across the middle. He should be taking people down the sidelines. Obviously, you can add in some curls and some short yak plays and stuff. But it's like I don't get it. So when I see that, I'm like, I can't really rely on this offense to be that MVP Lamar season. I can't rely on Lamar to throw it down the field if he's not, getting receivers on the field.
Mm-hmm.
Odell Beckham, as much as, we like Odell as a football player, it's just he's not Odell of old,
no.
or at least not yet.
Mm-hmm.
Mark Andrews can only do so much. the run game it seems to be their thing, but I mean the run game hasn't been the craziest for them.
Yeah,
And
they can't
against
stay
the
healthy.
Browns defense,
Yeah,
oh, go ahead.
they can't stay healthy. That's why.
Yeah, and this Browns defense it's not something to slouch at. This Browns defense is good. It's probably top five in the league right now. And it's the reason why Deshaun Watson is able to actually go out there and ball because he can rely on that defense to get him the ball back. Um, Man, and it's like Amari Cooper's out there balling. I don't even think they're really missing a beat with Nick Chubb, Jerome Ford, and Kareem Hunt are doing what they need to do on the running game. It's hard to bet on the Baltimore Ravens to win this game, even though I think that I had them at the start of the season, but that was at the start of the season.
Yeah.
It looks like Deshaun Watson's actually he's actually playing better football than last season. I don't think it's great football, but it's good enough that that defense can finish the job for him.
Mm-hmm.
So as long as Amari Cooper's healthy, I don't think Deshaun Watson's going to miss a beat. Give me the Browns in this one, 27-20 over the Ravens.
All righty. Now, next up, we got the Houston Texans at home against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Who you got? Steelers, Texans.
Steelers, Texans. At the start of the year, I would have been like, give me the Steelers in this.
But they look good against, Jack. They look good against,
Texans look good.
Yeah.
CJ Stroud has changed the whole dynamic of that offense, and I think a lot of people are sleeping on him right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I think him being that good on offense is helping them defensively. I don't think they're the greatest defensive team.
Yeah. Now, if they had a line, they'd be cooking. If they had an O-line to protect him, they'd be cooking.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think that's the one thing that's going to keep this in like an iffy range for me is that, I mean, the Steelers' D-line is just, it's good. The Steelers' D-line can get to C.J. Stroud. They can keep him running, but it's like, do I trust Kenny Pickett on the opposite side?
Yeah.
And it's not like I could be like, oh, well, Kenny Pickett's not doing it. The run game is set. No, Najee Harris has been mediocre.
Yeah.
And Jaylen Warren's not getting all the touches he deserves. Obviously, he should be the starting back right now, if you ask me. I don't know why he's still behind Najee Harris. Tomlin likes to run his backs as bell cows. He might as well just do it, because Jaylen Warren has looked tons better than Najee Harris in that back.
But he's a different kind of back, so yeah.
But it's just like when Najee's not getting the job done, you got to change it. Make Najee the change of pace back or something. But let Jaylen Warren see what he can do as a starting back.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's not going to hurt. Because I mean, you're winning right now, but eventually you're going to have to get that offense going because that defense can only do so much. And when it comes to that, it's like, do I think the Houston Texans can win this game? Very much so.
The Steelers are good for dropping these kind of games too.
Yeah. Oh my God, I don't know.
Just keep these two things in mind. One, the Pittsburgh Steelers always start late. It takes at least a good quarter and a half, and then really get going.
Yeah,
Number two,
the Houston Texans are good at dropping off in the second half.
And number two, that front seven, especially T.J. Watt, Alex Highsmith, they will get to you sooner or later.
Yes, sir.
And
that's the thing that's kind of throwing me out because it's like if the Texans can get a good lead on y'all, then it's like, can Kenny Pickett make that comeback?
Yeah.
And
also keep this in mind too. I don't think he had one turnover last game. I don't think so. He was close to having one picked off. Like he was close to having a pick six in the first quarter, I believe. But I don't think he threw one single pick or fumbled once.
I'm gonna go with Steelers in this, just because I think that defense is good enough to make some plays and get y'all into the red zone. So, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Texans just go out there and light y'all up. I would not be surprised because C.J. Stroud he's balling right now. I think he's got like 900 yards with no interceptions this year. And the only other quarterback that's like that is Justin Herbert right now. It's just those two. He's looking like he's going to be Offensive Rookie of the Year. I got to go with the Steelers though, just because I think Tomlin is the better coach,
Mm-hmm.
and that defense is good enough, and that O line for the Texans is just it's shredded cheese.
Yeah.
So with those factors in mind, I'm going to take the Steelers in this. I'm going to say Steelers 20, Texans 17.
Now, the Texans' only real hope is to punch us in the mouth early and to get to Kenny Pickett because Kenny Pickett, the thing is, you saw what he did when he stays in the pocket. He's not comfortable scrambling outside the pocket, throwing out of pocket passes. For him to connect, he needs to plant his feet in the pocket because every time he does it, boom, he hits George Pickens and his money. Boom, he hits Calvin Austin and his money. If they can get him outside the pocket and make him uncomfortable, then they got a shot. And then they have to rely on the running game, which also, like I said, it takes a while for the Steelers to actually get up, to get going. But if Kenny plants his feet, he can tear that secondary of the Texans apart because the secondary hasn't really been much to speak of in recent years. But yeah, I'm going to play it safe. Go ahead and give me the Pittsburgh Steelers 24-20 over the Texans. All right, next up, this game is going to be interesting. You got the Minnesota Vikings against the Carolina Panthers. Now, I expected a hell of a lot more than the Vikings. I expected a hell of a lot more of the Vikings than I did this year. And the Carolina Panthers, they surprised me with what they've done so far. Like I said, the Vikings have disappointed me. They really have. But I mean, like I said, as long as you got Justin Jefferson, to light up that sky, you got a shot. And Kirk Cousins, I've said this a million times. You live by Kirk Cousins, you die by Kirk Cousins. It's always going to depend on what kind of game he has. The Carolina Panthers, they're not scary, but they are a team that you really can't let them hang around for too long because they can hurt you if you do. And I don't know if you noticed, but the Vikings have made mistakes against teams that they let hang around way too long. And you noticed last year, a lot of people say that they were frauds because a lot of the close games, they won those by what? It was like 4 points or less by damn near every game. So yeah, that's something to watch out for. But a Panthers win wouldn't surprise me, but I'm going to play it safe and give it to the Minnesota Vikings. But if they lose this game, we're going to have a long talk about me picking them again. So yeah, give me the Minnesota Vikings 27-21 over the Carolina Panthers. Who you got? Vikings, Panthers.
I got the Vikings in this one. I think Andy Dalton looked good out there. I don't think they're going to keep him as a starter. Bryce Young is going to be back this week. When Bryce Young is under the helm at quarterback, it's not as certain as it is Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton, he went out there and balled out. He had DJ Chark looking good. He had Adam Thielen looking good. But Adam Thielen's just been looking great this whole entire season. But the thing is, as much as I want to say like it's an Adam Thielen revenge game, I just think this Vikings offense is that good. I don't think this Carolina offense is amazing, especially with Bryce Young at quarterback. I'm not a big fan of Bryce Young yet. I think he still needs time to develop. Even the run game is looking iffy because Miles Sanders is battling with that groin injury. They still have Chuba Hubbard, but I mean, compared to I just think Justin Jefferson is going to torch this team.
Yeah.
And defensively, I mean, I really don't think the Vikings have to worry too much defensively. I mean, they blitz a ton. I think they blitzed Herbert 82% of the time he dropped back last week. So if they're blitzing Bryce Young like that, I just expect it to be not a crazy like blowout, but just I think that much pressure on a rookie quarterback is bound to have some bad plays. Give me the Vikings in this. I would say 27-17 over the Panthers.
All right. Next up, you got the LA Rams against the Indianapolis Colts. Now, they said that Anthony Richardson is going to be a game-time decision, and the Rams, even though they didn't really look that good against the Bengals last week, the Rams, they're still dangerous. I mean, because look at all the weapons they got. And if Matt Stafford is clicking on all cylinders, he could be a problem for this Colts defense. But look, the thing is, the Colts are not a team you want to sleep on. And the thing is, they surprised me this year by hanging in there with some top caliber teams, especially with a rookie quarterback like Anthony Richardson. But is Anthony Richardson and company going to be able to survive that the LA Rams defensive onslaught. I mean, we're going to see about that. I mean, because we're going to see how he acts with Aaron Donald rushing at him, or if he even gets hit by him. I think that the Colts are going to have to rely on that running game, but we'll see how it goes. Give me the. I'm gonna take the Rams. I think it's gonna be a close one. Give me the Rams 24-17 over the Colts. Who you got? Colts Rams.
I'm with you. I think it's going to be a close game. Anthony Richardson is back. This Rams defense, it's probably the best part of this team right now.
Absolutely.
Matthew Stafford it looks like, I don't know, it doesn't look like he's comfortable out there. And I know this Colts D-line can get some pressure on him. Their run game looks good. Zach Moss has been balling out lately. I don't think Jonathan Taylor is going to have a starting job if he comes back. I think they trade him away now that Zach Moss has emerged. Anthony Richardson and Michael Pittman have been having some good chemistry. He's also got some good chemistry with the young guy, Josh Downs. It looks like this Colts team it's kind of finding their own identity, and I like that. This Rams team, they're a little vulnerable without Cooper Kupp, and they're probably going to be without him for another week or two. So I don't think the Rams are going to get blown out, obviously, but I think it's going to be closer than most people would expect it to be. I'm going to go with the Rams maybe taking the L here.
Oh, wow.
Just because I think Anthony Richardson's ability to get outside the pocket would disrupt a lot of that pass rush from the Rams. So give me the Colts in this one. I'm going to say 24-23. Yeah. I just think I'm liking the Colts right now. I think they're overall just a really great team, but I also like the Rams. I like what Kyren Williams is looking like back there. He's looking like a complete back, maybe their most complete back since Todd Gurley. But it's just I think Matthew Stafford he's I don't know, he's still trying to fill out some kinks out there or something, because it's just like even again that Bengals game, it didn't look like he was comfortable in that pocket. He was struggling a lot. So I think that's giving me the uncertainty that I think the Colts need for them to win.
Alrighty. Now next week we got another NFC South matchup. We got the New Orleans Saints going up against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Who you got? Saints, Bucks.
No Derek Carr, probably. And even if he does play, I think he's a little too banged up to be the Derek Carr that they need him to be. Alvin Kamara's back, though.
Oh, yeah.
Jameis Winston, the revenge game. I love it. Jameis is about to have the revenge game of the season. I like this game. I think it's going to be an interesting one. Both teams are great defensively. Both teams are kind of a sleeper offensively. I don't know if Jameis can. I mean, Jameis has kind of had that I don't give a fuck attitude his entire career, though. So he might just go out there and just start chucking the ball up to Chris Olave and Michael Thomas. And I mean, he's got one of the best receiving backs in the league, and Alvin Kamara back, and he's fully healthy. He's been in game shape apparently. He has the weapons to go out there and beat this Bucks team. Man, is this a home game for the Bucks?
Nah, Saints are at home.
Saints are at home. As much as I don't believe too much in home games, I might have to take the Saints here. Just because I think Jameis has a lot to prove here. I think this is kind of like a resume game. You don't get too many of these. You go out there, kind of, show the league that you still got it. I'm kind of rooting for him to take this game over. So I'm probably going to have to go with the Saints here. I think it's close. I don't think it's some crazy blowout. Jameis, humiliates his old team type of situation. I just think it's going to be one of those games where it's very defensive at first, and then someone gets open. And I think that could be like a Chris Olave, or I think that could be an Alvin Kamara on a screen taking it, 40 yards or something. It could be Michael Thomas over the middle. It could be Mike Evans or Chris Godwin for all we know. But I'm going to lean towards the Saints in this one. I'm going to say Saints win 20-17 over the Bucks.
Yeah, and the first half they looked good against the Green Bay Packers last week, but yeah, we all know what happened. And I don't think there's anybody on the Bucks secondary who can really even slow down, even stop Chris Olave. He can torch them all day long. But what the Bucks defense needs to do is they just need to get to the quarterback early. So and Jameis is starting, but has he seen many reps? Does he have it? Is he rusty? That's the thing. He needs to shake that rust off before we decide if he's going to have a definitive win or not. The Bucks are just solid all around. Like I said, they're not a scary team, but they are solid and that you need to watch out for. This is gonna be, like I said, this is gonna be another close game. Give me the. At first, I didn't want to pick the Bucks, but now I changed my mind. So, and like I said, this is a home game for the Saints, so we'll see. But anyway, give me the Saints 21-18 over the Bucks. Now, next up, you got the Philadelphia Eagles at home against the Washington Commanders. Who you got? Eagles, Commanders.
Eagles Commanders.
Mm-hmm.
As much as I like the Commanders, and it's a division game, so I think they'll play the Eagles hard. This Eagles team is, I mean, they're still built the same they were, or the same way they were last year.
Yeah.
They're still a good team. They're still you know, balling out. I mean, there's nothing really to say. They probably improved, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
DeAndre Swift has looked way better out there than Miles Sanders. I don't know if it's just the way they use them, if he's just a speedier back and he fits their system better. But DeAndre Swift has looked crazy out there, and that Eagles O line is probably the best O line in the league. The way they've been opening holes for both DeAndre Swift and Kenneth Gainwell. Man. I just don't think that this Commanders team is built yet to stop this Eagles offense. I mean, when you have AJ Brown, Goddard, and Devontae Smith out there, Jalen Hurts is a dual threat quarterback completely now.
Yeah.
It's not like it was before where he would use his legs and then maybe you could stop him through the air. He's looking good, in the passing game now. It's kind of like what I thought Lamar was gonna be. I don't know if the Ravens just stop him from being that, but the Eagles definitely are full go on Jalen Hurts being a dual threat quarterback. So I just can't bet against the Eagles yet. I got to go with the Eagles in this one. I would say give me the Eagles in this 30-20 over the Washington Commanders.
All right. I see where you're coming from because Washington is not going to lay down. They're not going to lay down for the Eagles. They're going to give them a fight, but that's the only problem is the Eagles got a hell of a lot of firepower and they're at home. So, and the thing is, they haven't had a definitive win against Washington. Has not had a definitive win against the Eagles at home in quite some time now. I think it's been like since the RG3 era, which was a decade ago, that they had a definitive Eagles win when they were on the road. I mean, you're right that Washington defense is scary, something to look at, but I mean, the Eagles got too much firepower for you to convince me otherwise, unless something crazy happens, which God forbid. But yeah, the Eagles are the safe pick right now. So go ahead and give me the Eagles 30-21 over the Commanders. Next up, this one is interesting. You got the Tennessee Titans at home against the Cincinnati Bengals. Who you guys, Cincy or the Bengals? I mean, Titans Bengals.
Titans Bengals, man. I don't like this Titans team. I know they beat the Chargers. And I think that was just because defensively the Chargers they didn't look that great this year. But there's something about this Titans team that's just kind of throwing me off this year, and I'm not a fan of it. The Bengals, as much as I don't want to give Burrow an excuse, that calf is obviously hurting him. That O line is, I mean, it's doing its best, and I don't think when I look at the Titans, I think they're a threat in the secondary. I think their run defense is where they kind of like kill these teams, and the Bengals aren't really a running team. And Ryan Tannehill's not some guy who I think even can battle against a Joe Burrow that's hurt. especially when he's finally getting on pace with Jamar Chase. I think Jamar Chase had like 14 catches last night or something around those numbers, and when Jamar Chase gets going, T Higgins doesn't drop the ball 20 times a game like he did last week. It's a hard Bengals team to beat. I think that's the Bengals team we expected at the beginning of the season. I just think Joe Burrow's calf was a little too messed up. I think it's healing now. I think it's getting better and better each week, obviously. Um, I can't trust this Titans team offensively. I mean, Derrick Henry has looked like a shell of himself. I think that's because they're not letting him get in a rhythm. They're kind of like switching him out with this like Tyjae Spears guy, and that it kind of reminds me of the whole Dion Lewis, Derrick Henry situation again, and I don't like when they do that. I would rather you try to get Derrick Henry involved in the passing game more. But I mean, it's the Titans. The Titans are going to do what the Titans are going to do. Tannehill is all right. I just don't think he has the receivers to ball out like that. I mean, he has DeAndre Hopkins, but DeAndre Hopkins. I don't think he's washed. I just think Tannehill's not a great quarterback
for him. Yeah.
I don't know why he went to the Titans in the first place. I wish he would have went somewhere else. I got the Bengals in this. I think if Joe Burrow hadn't shown me that he's getting better last week, I probably would have went Titans here. But give me the Bengals in this. 27-24, 27-23 over the Titans. I just think when Burrow's actually out there throwing the ball and getting it out to Jamar Chase, it's an entirely different team. So, yeah, give me the Bengals.
Yeah. Now, last week, the Bengals beat the Rams. The Rams are a better team on paper than the Tennessee Titans are. But once again, any given Sunday, you never know. But you're right. An old past his prime Ryan Tannehill is not the answer to beating the Cincinnati Bengals, especially if they were turned into a gunfight, a shootout, especially because they got Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. Can Derrick Henry put the team on his back all by himself? I don't think so, unless they can do something, unless Mike Vrabel pulls some coaching magic out of his hat and slows down the game and just takes Joe Burrow out of the whole equation and don't let him get his hands on the ball. But even then, that Cincinnati defense is still pretty solid. So that's something you got to watch out for. And also, this game might come down to special teams and turnovers too, because and that's the thing, is who's gonna make the first mistake to capitalize on. So that's something that we always got to watch out for. Oh man, and also you're right. Joe Burrow's health is a huge question mark because I think he's been playing. I don't want to say he's been playing at 50%. I'll give him 75%. But still, is 75% of Joe Burrow better than 100% of Ryan Tannehill? Yes, I think so. Give me the Bengals 27-20 over the Tennessee Titans. Next up, oh boy, AFC West matchup. You got the LA Chargers at home against the Las Vegas Raiders. Who you got? Raiders, Chargers.
Man, this better be a Chargers win.
Yeah.
I don't care. I do not care. If the Raiders beat the Chargers this week, I'm doubling down on the Fire Staley train. This Raiders team is just like this Bears team. It's falling apart very quickly. They're already talking about trading Devontae Adams in the media because he's over there talking about there's no winning culture. They got beef with what's his name, Chandler Jones. Send him to the mental hospital. Jimmy Garoppolo he's banged up already, and I mean he's throwing the ball, he's airing it out, but I mean it's just that team is it's in shambles.
Yeah.
Josh McDaniels and that Raiders organization I feel like they've lost that locker room.
And they can't just rely on Devontae Adams. They can't rely on Devontae Adams from start to finish and get burnt out.
Yeah, and it's just like that team is in shambles. I know the Chargers just lost Mike Williams, but I mean we've got so many guys up just waiting for an opportunity, and Josh Palmer and Quentin Johnston. It shouldn't even matter. Keenan Allen's balling, Justin Herbert's balling. Justin Herbert has been having a hell of a year, and it's been spoiled by the fact that this defense can stop anything. So hopefully they can stop the Raiders. I think the Raiders are probably the least talented team we've faced offensively this year. Yeah, give me the Chargers in this one, 31-20 over the Raiders. If it's even a close game, I'll be upset.
Yeah. I'm pretty much in the same train you are because the the um the Raiders they've got pieces, but it relies on whether Jimmy Garoppolo plays good or not. That and the fact that the refs have to be on their side. But that's a whole nother topic. But yeah, on paper, the Chargers should win this game. I don't care if it's a divisional game either. I mean, this is one of the games you got to take if you want to even be remotely close to the playoffs. And Justin Herbert, he really has to step it up in this game. And by step it up, meaning that he has to make better decisions with the football. Otherwise, he's going to get his ass creamed. Well, actually, well, their front seven is good, but I think that Justin Herbert can do just enough to avoid them. So give me the Chargers in this game, 30-23. I mean, if they even score 23, I'll be surprised. But yeah, 30-23. Next up, you got the New England Patriots going on the road against the Dallas Cowboys to Jerry World. Who you got? Cowboys, Patriots.
I mean, shit, I would have took the Cowboys in a heartbeat until last week.
Yeah, they got
Um, man, I don't know, man. This is
yeah, because like I said, they lost their team that's tanking, and on paper, they not Denver, but not the Patriots really are not that much better. And the thing is, at least you can say that in every loss, in every game this year that the Arizona Cardinals have had, they fought. They at least kept it close. They haven't been dominated yet. But yeah, that's pretty much my 2 cents. But go on.
Yeah, I don't I'm so I don't know with this Cowboys team anymore. It's like when you go against somebody like Bill Belichick, you have to be on your A game. So
Absolutely.
he can definitely go out there and have Mac Jones and Ramondre Stevenson and Ezekiel Elliott looking great against his Cowboys team. I mean, he has the schemes to do it. So when I'm thinking about that, I'm just like, I don't know. This Cowboys team offensively they were just getting stopped in the red zone constantly by this Cardinals team. I don't know. I feel like I should bet on the Cowboys to bounce back, but I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if they have back-to-back trap games.
Mm,
And I didn't want to go with that. I think it's going to be the upset of the week. I think it's going to be them throwing away the game. I think Dak is still turnover prone, even though he told us that he's been working on saving his hints. Um, give me the Patriots in this. I think the Patriots win 23-20. Um, for some reason, I think the Cowboys are going to throw up two back-to-back stinkers.
yeah. Now I'll tell you one thing: Michael Parsons and CeeDee Lamb better have a monster game. Otherwise, yeah, this is gonna be another one of those trap games that the New England Patriots walk away with. Now, like I said, the Patriots aren't bad. It's just that they're not contending for a championship this year. That's the only problem. They might be able to steal. Like you said, but you are correct. If the Patriots were to steal a game, it will be this one. But yeah, I mean, yeah, because the Dallas Cowboys, like, it seems like we go through this every year. They pad their stats by beating up on weaker teams. Then when they face a real one or a team that's just on par with them, they end up losing or let the game slip through their fingers. They can't do that against a team like the New England Patriots, especially with a coach like Belichick. Who this one is hard for me. Ugh. It's probably going to be a 3-point game or less. So give me the Patriots 24-23 over the Cowboys. Next up, you got another NFC West matchup. You got the San Francisco 49ers at home against the Arizona Cardinals. Now, like I said, the Cardinals are supposed to be tanking on paper, but damn it, they have fought in every single game to end. They're not going to, like, it's like, okay, we're tanking, but we're not going to make it look obvious. But Josh Dobbs, he's doing some work. He really is doing some work. I mean, they set Kyler Murray for a reason. But yeah, man, I'm proud of Josh Dobbs and what he's able to do. But the 49ers, man, the 49ers just own one. They've proven themselves to be one of the top contenders in the league at this point. But like I said, these teams, they always beat each other up because they're division rivals. Oh, man. Give me the Niners 27-20 over the Cardinals. Who you got? Niners, Cardinals.
For me, yeah, it's a division game. The Cardinals are going to play them hard. It's just that this Niners team, it feels to me they're a better offensive team than the Cowboys. They have way more offensive weapons, in my opinion. They use them better. Their defense is just as good. I know it's the Cardinals have been balling. I think Josh Dobbs is he's gonna have a solid game this week as well. It's just that this 49ers team is built to win a Super Bowl. They've been built to win a Super Bowl for years, and they keep improving. So, Purdy he's been the quarterback they need. He's been better than Jimmy G. He's probably
Better.
I mean, he's super efficient with the ball, so I can't be mad at it.
Yeah.
Nothing about this Cardinals team this 49ers team tells me that the Cardinals are going to do what they did to the Cowboys to them. The Cowboys, it was like you could look back and be like, you guys had a little like fraudulent start. You faced the Jets and the Giants. So for the Cardinals to come out and beat you guys, it's like I should be surprised, but I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
With the 49ers, I think the 49ers have shown us that they're a team that can run the score up on you.
Yeah.
And in a bad way. Even with Ayuk back, yeah, I got the 49ers in this. I'm going to say 49ers 30, Cardinals 20 over, or 49ers 20 over the Cardinals.
All right. Now we got Sunday Night Football. Kansas City Chiefs going up against the New York Giants. And now this was the premier matchup because Aaron Rodgers was supposed to be Rodgers versus Mahomes, but yeah, we saw what happened with that. And Kansas City ran up the score last week on the Bears. Can they do the same thing against Zach Wilson and company? I think it might. To be honest, I think it might look pretty similar. Because Because the thing is, you can't let Kansas City run away with that league. Because if you do, it's going to get ugly. But can he keep up with Zach Wilson? Can Zach Wilson keep up with Patrick Mahomes? That's the question. Is he going to answer back every time they score a touchdown? Because they can drop like 3 touchdowns in a span of 8 minutes if you're not careful. And you can't. And like I said, the Jets, they have a good running game. The secondary is all right, but I mean, Kansas City got that firepower, man. But thing is, there's a rumor going around that Patrick Mahomes is not 100%, so that's something to watch out for. But even if he's not at 100%, look at all the damn weapons he's got, and he's got a good running game too. So he's not going to scramble out of the pocket unless he has to. But it's just like at this point, the Jets don't really scare me that much. So go ahead and give me Kansas City 33-17 over the Jets. Who you got? Jets, Chiefs.
Yeah, I think Mahomes banged up his ankle in that last game. I mean, he still came in. He still threw the ball perfectly fine.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's going to hamper him. I think, a week's worth of rest is all he really needed to get it back in the,
Right.
playing shape. This Jets team doesn't scare me. Chiefs-wise. It's just that offensively, they're just not good enough.
Mm-hmm.
If Aaron Rodgers was at quarterback, then yeah, because he's utilizing Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall and all those guys way better than Zach Wilson would. Zach Wilson's he's not fit to be a NFL QB, and we've seen this after honestly too many years of him as a starter. Patrick Mahomes, he doesn't have the weapons he used to have in previous years, but I mean, when you have Travis Kelce, and Travis Kelce is healthy, and apparently Taylor Swift is going to be at the game, so he wants to show off some more.
Yeah.
It's just like, I mean, screw it. He's just going to go out there and ball out. He's going to whoop these Jets. It's going to be another sad game for the Jets. The Jets are going to, Jets fans are going to cry because, they had so much potential this year, and it was ruined week one on the first, play of the game, first few plays of the game. Give me the Chiefs in this 20-16 over the Jets.
Yeah, I ain't mad at that. And this thing, like, I've got them scoring some points, but I don't know if they're gonna be able to keep up with them. But like I said, hey, we'll see. All right, now, last but not least, you got the Seattle Seahawks going against the New York Giants. Who you got? Seahawks, Giants.
I'm gonna go with the Seahawks here. I think Saquon Barkley is going to be playing, but I think he's rushing back from an injury, and I don't think they need that.
No.
I know they got Wan'Dale Robinson back in the receiving game. Darren Waller, I mean, he's been one of Daniel Jones' favorite targets, but as much as I I don't like the Seahawks this year. I mean, they're still good. I mean, they still have the running game with Kenneth Walker, and they're including Zach Charbonnet in there more and more. It's like they're a great 1-2 punch. Um, Gino, I think he's getting more comfortable with his receivers. DK has looked way better than he did last season. He likes the Jackson Smith Nigba guy. He still has Tyler Lockett. He's got the receivers. The offense is good. Defensively, I think they're solid. They're not the greatest and they're not the worst. And that's all you need to beat the Giants. The Giants aren't some team that's super scary. I think last season was a bit of a fluke. I don't think they improved this season. I think they probably got worse this season. It doesn't help that Saquon is hurt. All those factors lead me to think honestly, you can't hang with a lot of NFL teams. I know they came back on the Cardinals, but I feel like the Cardinals are just tanking. Like we've discussed already. I think the Cardinals just gave them that one. So give me the Seahawks in this one. I'll say the Seahawks 24, Giants 17.
Yeah. And that's the thing is, on paper, the Seahawks should win. That's another team that I gave a lot of credit, maybe more than I should have. But hey, like I said, look at all the weapons they got. I mean, they should be doing fine. And New York, I just don't really know what to think of them right now because Danny Jones, he's below average, and that defense. The thing is, if the defense can keep them alive, then they really got a shot. And Saquon, for some reason or another, hasn't played a game at 100% in the last 2 or 3 years or so. But man, I think that at this point, the Seahawks are going to be too much for the New York Giants. So go ahead and give me the Seahawks 28. Yeah, 28-18. Well, anyway, boys and girls, that'll do it for this week's episode of Fourth and Goal podcast. Those are week 4 predictions. Flip, any final words before we sign out tonight, brother?
Yeah. I'm enjoying this season.
Yeah.
I know you said it was a bit wonky, but it feels like the last couple seasons have been like that, and I enjoy it. And I enjoy that this year. It feels like I can't predict.
Yeah.
I mean, outside of the AFC East, I can't predict who is going to take this. Take the division. I mean, even the AFC East, really, the Bills are still in it.
Yeah.
I mean, we can't sit here and be like, oh, the Bills are going to lose out to the Dolphins in the division. It's like every division is competitive right now. Like, when I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, like, oh, the AFC South, like, all those guys look like they're fighting. Like, they have a chance to take the division now. It's not like the Texans are ass. We're looking at the Texans oh, you guys are kind of nice. We're looking at the AFC North like, oh, you guys all are kind of fighting. We're looking at the AFC West, and I mean, the outside, that might be the only one where I'm like, okay, that's the Chargers and Chiefs probably.
Yeah. And nobody's going to lay, and that's the thing, is this year, nobody's laying down. I mean, the thing is, that's the thing, is every team can potentially win. Like you say, all it takes is just one or two games to turn things around. You can be in first place this week and last place next week in your division.
Honestly, I would say outside of the AFC and the NFC West, every division is competitive.
Yeah.
So it's like, I know the Vikings are starting 0-3, but they're going to bounce back from that. And it's not like the Lions and the Packers are just so good that they're not going to drop off a few games and keep the Vikings in it. So it's just like, it's a competitive season, and I think we're going to really enjoy it down to the wire if this keeps up.
Yeah. Well, anyway, that's all I got for tonight. Flip, as always, thank you for helping me host podcast, buddy. I appreciate it.
Oh, no problem, my guy.
Yeah. And anyway, this is Flip and Dread signing out. We will see you guys next week. Peace.
Peace.